I'm Doug Mulray. Welcome once again to Beauty and the Beast. And I'd like to begin today's show with a few verses from my favourite book of the Bible, Revelations. And I'm reading from the New International Version. Not the St. James, I do apologise to St. James enthusiasts. And the beast was given a proud mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies. All the inhabitants of the earth worshipped the beast and asked, "Who is like the beast? Who can make war against him?" And then I saw an angel descending from the heavens, and her name was Batprince. Hello, Ita.
Hello, Douglas. How are you? We love sinners.
Do we? We angels?
We do. Angels love sinners, and we adore you.
I met a woman in a green room in Melbourne recently who told me, in passing, that 1 in 500 people is an angel and doesn't know.
Well, we were talking about our wings only this morning. They do get in the way when we're dressing.
You weren't talking about your wings, you were talking about your frequent flyer points. Rebecca Wilson.
How late at night was it when you actually ran into that person in the green room? And what was she on?
Obviously, too late or not late enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Got a few surprises in store.
I like you in
for
that lighter coat.
In the suede or suede, depending on do you think it works against the baby cack background? I'm not sure.
I think it does. I think it does. Yeah.
You're looking good against the blue background.
Thanks
Lisa.
very much. Well, I had a tie last week and it seemed to be very formal, so I thought I'd relax.
I had a tie last night. I particularly enjoyed the Chu-Chi prawns. It's the wonderful Carlotta.
Your Majesty.
Look at this. It's sort of a touch of power dressing, a touch of wiggle.
Yes.
And
I feel very secretarial.
You look fabulous.
Feel like a desk job?
I thought that was the specialty of a former member of this panel. But let's not go there. Sue Smithers, Queen of Colour, how are you?
Hey!
We're
Very well, thank you.
concerned about you and your necklace.
Do you like it?
I like it, but I'm worried that it's going to bang against the microphone all
Oh
day.
dear, well, I'll just make sure it's over here.
Make
I
sure
do
you do
believe
it.
that thing about angels, though. I
Do you?
think everybody, I think they're all walking around and people in their lifetime can be angels and devils. That's it.
Sometimes the power of the Lord is visited upon them.
And you can go up and down Jacob's ladder.
You can go up
That's
and
in the
down
Bible.
like a lift driver's bum.
That's right.
Indeed. Shauna Jensen, how are you?
Sparkly.
You are indeed.
I'm sparkly today.
And you seem to have got a bit of extra length since last I saw you.
Well, Lisa Wilkinson's hair was on the floor and I just thought I'd stick it on mine.
I know, she sheds. People don't realise that about Lisa Wilkinson. She actually sheds. Her husband, Peter, told me once that he sweeps up enough hair in a given week for him to macrame steering wheel covers, which he sells at the local fair. Quite extraordinary. You heard it here first. Now, we often get accused on this show of not understanding young people, so I thought today we might discuss the generation gap at the head of the program. Having young children myself gives me the illusion that I've got a fair idea of what's hot and what's not for the kids. But I'm just wondering how the beauties feel. Do you feel, ladies, that you've lost touch with young people? And if so, can you pinpoint the moment that realisation hits you? Lisa.
I was terrified, I have to say, when I was asked to write teenage fiction. Because you read so many stories in the paper about how teenagers are, you know, this generation, they're dark, they're different, you know, somehow things are different. And then, of course, you meet a few teenagers. And I think they're going through the same things that we went through as teenagers. And I think that, as we said on that last show when we were talking about rap music, it's teenagers have to think that we don't get it, and it's their right and good on them. But otherwise, I think if we just can think back to what it was like for us at 15 in a particular moment, then the gap isn't that great.
It's going a long way back for me, I've got to admit. But the generation gap is something that kids need.
I think so.
They've got to see themselves as the emergent generation that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, and that we just don't understand. The older people don't understand. They won't get it. And eventually they'll get older and the same thing will happen. It's a great cycle.
So how do you write books for a teen market if you accept that they're never going to embrace the older person's philosophy?
Oh, well, I'm writing... when I write, I'm writing characters... I'm writing from the character's perspective, so I'm not asking them to accept my philosophy. I'm trying to understand their philosophy.
How's the book going, by the way?
DJ Maxx is going well, yeah. It's about
DJ
9...
Maxx. DJ Maxx, available from a good bookstore
and
near
making
you.
the most of it before that was... You know, they're going fine. They're fine, yeah.
Good.
They're good.
You talk about your kids on the program all the time. They're a real point of reference for you.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
And you love them, but do you think you truly understand them? Do you think they truly understand you? Do you think they see themselves as of a different race.
Yeah, they certainly don't understand me, and I don't think really I understand them fully. And I think there are two things that sort of define the generation gap. One's music, and you know, I mean, they love things like Offspring and stuff like that, and I just think it's completely jarring. And the second thing is language. And already they're coming, I mean, they're only 10 and 8, so they're still not even in the teen years, and they're coming home and saying stuff that I have no inkling what it means, and I never actually remember it because it doesn't seem to, it has no point of reference for me. And it's stuff that's just so common now, and I mean, a lot of it's coming off The Simpsons and things like that, you know, things that just become part of their language. And unless you're actually doing it all with them and living all of that with them, it's really, really difficult to keep up. But the generation gap I notice more than that one is the one with people in their early 20s. I just notice now that the people in their early 20s are much, much different from the way I feel we were, you know, sort of 40-somethings were in their early 20s. They are a completely different generation of people.
But then so are we. I mean, I can remember my darling mum, God bless her, and she watches the show. At 45 was, you know, in the tweed skirt and the twin set, and, you know, a 45-year-old woman today wouldn't do that. They wouldn't wear the badges of a 45-year-old demo.
But
you
I
know,
think
they're out in jeans and they're still doing big jewellery and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I think I know what you're saying in that I look at young, early 20s girls and I think, did I have your confidence?
That's right, they're incredibly
so
confident.
It's fantastic.
And they really believe...
We were more sheltered. See, I think what's lacking today is that with the parents, they don't talk as much to their kids as what they did when we were kids. You know, they didn't have that round you've got TV thrown at them today, you've got, the music is completely different. But I remember, like, when we had, like, it was always a big baked dinner on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of families out there and a lot of kids, you know, that's why we've got a lot of kids on the street. They don't have this communication with their parents like we had when we were growing up.
So
and
you're
I think
saying
that's
that,
what's
as far as you're
lacking
concerned,
today.
there was no generation gap when you were a kid, or less of a generation
Well, there was
gap?
a generation gap as far as music, and, I mean, we didn't have
I think it was exactly the same.
Well,
I remember my dad saying, "You're not wearing black pants."
I had more.
I couldn't believe I wasn't allowed to wear black pants. Funeral directors wear black pants. I thought, what? I mean, there was something that his generation embraced as a truism, which seemed completely
But did
irrelevant.
your
Still
family
seems,
talk to
Dad,
you?
completely irrelevant to me. I go to see them. They still say to me, "Get your hair cut." I mean, there's always going to be a gap between one generation and another. It's necessary. It's healthy.
Don't you need a gap? I mean, don't we need a gap? I mean, isn't every passage a gap in a way? In the same way, it doesn't matter where we're all at in our respective lives. We're experiencing different things, and you know, I personally am enjoying the freedom that I now have because my children are raised. But you know, I think that you can have your differences, but I don't think that means we don't understand what they're going through, and I don't really think whether or not we appreciate rap or heavy metal or any other kind of music is really here nor there, because we'll always have differences in what we enjoy and seek out. But as long as you understand, I mean, you do remember what it was like to be a teenager. I can remember many times saying to my mother and or my father, "You just don't understand."
Which is exactly what teenagers are saying today.
Exactly, so some
Because
things never
every
change.
teenager who turned 13 went through that angst that said, nobody has ever lived with these problems before. Nobody's had the
I've got
uncertainty.
2 teenage sons, 19 and 17, and there is no generation gap other than, you know, like I say, well, I went and listened to, you know, 9 Inch Nails. That's really good. Oh, no, I can't listen to that again now. But basically, other than that, it's amazing, you know. Oh, you've ruined that for me, you know. And I say, oh, I'd want to come down and watch you lifeguard on the beach. Oh, God, don't you dare. Mom, you know. But other than that, I mean, really, they're listening to the same music that I was listening to at their age. You know, they like Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin and all this sort of stuff. They wear the same clothes. I can talk to them like, you know, I really couldn't talk to my parents like that. But I really was talking about the generation gap, and there's a big difference between, you know, the 60s and the 70s was a reaction to the 50s. But we actually dress the same, we have the same culture, and communication is so much more open that I don't think there is such.
Mum, you're a real groovy mum. You haven't changed for years. God.
A groovy mum she may be, but frankly, I think she's delusional. Still to come, we talk about menopause, bad breath, and Ida's undergarments. It's a diverse kind of day here on Beauty and the Beast.
This program proudly brought to you by Neutrogena Deep Clean Cleansing Cloths and The Good Food Show.
Are you paying more than $10 a month for your internet? Justinternet.com.au. Now giving Aussies internet for under $10 a month. Surf all you want with unlimited internet time. 3 email accounts for all the family, and a massive 500 meg of downloads. Join online now. justinternet.com.au or call 1300 88 99 10. That's 1300 88 99 10. Just Internet. Get it on.
Looking for Australia's best value cleaner? Look no further than the 1300-watt dust flow with onboard tools and 360-degree swivel hose. And Godfrey's price? Just $59. Yes, just $59, but only at Godfrey's.
The Doorbuster Door Sale is on this weekend at Doors Plus for 4 days only. All stock reduced by up to 50%. You will save on bifolds, entry doors, interior doors, 10-light joinery doors, and locks, knobs and knockers. Plus we can fit, stain and deliver. Save up to 50% this weekend only at the Doors Plus 4-day Doorbuster Sale. Ends Monday. For a free measure and quote and huge savings, visit a Doors Plus showroom today.
Doors Plus, no fuss.
Think Furniture's overstock sale is on now. Save up to 40% on factory direct leather. Buy this 3-seater for only $1,790. Get a 2-seater free. Luxury leather at up to 40% off. Think Furniture, Clayton, Bandura, Dandenong and Rosebud.
Hurry, for this month only, save up to 50% off everything at Light Up Australia. Halogen downlight complete with globe, 50% off $9.90. Adjustable halogen downlight with globe, 50% off $14.90. Philips or Osram halogen globes, 50% off $2.90. Large bunkers, 50% off $15.90. 500-watt halogen floodlight, 50% off $9.90. Hurry, save up to 50% now. Bargains for builders at Light Up Australia. Check the yellow pages or ring directory assistance for locations.
Yes.
For returns worth getting excited about, lock in an excellent 6.25% per annum for 12 months and up to an amazing 7.75% per annum for 5 years, with no fees or charges and interest paid quarterly. Call Australian Capital Reserve now on 1800 002 009 for more information, so you can relax and watch your money grow.
Did you know that IXL, Monbolt and Cottage Jams are all foreign owned? Golden Circle is Australian owned by Australian farmers. Just thought we'd give you the drum.
Give a damn about your jam.
Bring your existing account across to Just Internet and pay less. Don't pay more than $10 a month for your internet. Join online now. www.justinternet.com.au. Just Internet. Get it on.
Just what has Mike been hiding under that doctor's coat of his?
Your nurse is suing you?
She's claiming I sexually harassed her.
Could this case break up two best friends?
I didn't trust you to trust me, and I was right.
A must-see Ed, 7:30 tonight.
I'm so glad you could stay with us. And dear old but not out wants to have her say about sex. Dear be still my pounding parts. Dear Doug and Beauties, I'm an 84-year-old woman who just loves your show. But she has a question for us. Why is it that everyone these days needs a label? Everyone wants to be known as gay or heterosexual or somewhere in between, and I just wanted to know when who we slept with became such an important issue. Actually, it was a pretty important issue at my place about 1 o'clock this morning. Oh, but not out. No, I'm only kidding. Happily monogamous. Honestly, Rebecca and I are just close friends, aren't we? And Liz, I just wanted to make that public. I think it's important that the issue of our love child is behind us and our relationship is at an end.
What does one say to that?
Nothing, because it's Shauna's turn. She didn't get a go in the opening. Shauna, this business about sort of coming out, you know, and I'm not talking about gay people. I'm talking about everyone sort of defining themselves and being committed to this particular sexual practice or the other. Is it just sort of reasonable that an 84-year-old person from a more conservative period would react badly to that, or is it something we should react badly to? Do we want to know what people do to each other?
No, I think that, you know, in old but not out's day, in her youth,
the labels were then based on religion or on your marital status. And nowadays, because everything in the media is based on sex and sex and sex and sex and sex, and so it becomes, everything revolves around that, and it's about your sexuality, and, you know, all the magazines touting when this person slept with that person and blah, blah, blah. And people, I think, you know, gay people would, if they're out and they're happy with who they are, they want, I think particularly gay people need to differentiate between heterosexual, being heterosexual or being, because so it becomes more acceptable, so that people realise that.
What has that got to do with anything? Why? Why is it necessary?
Why do we have to?
Well, I'm not saying that people would say, oh yes, I would go up to you and say, oh hello, I'm Shauna, I'm a lesbian. I'm not saying that, but if you know, if people always presume, like if I go somewhere, people will always presume, oh, I bet your husband doesn't like that, and then I have to say, well, you know, I don't have a husband. Oh, well, you should be married. And I said, no, well, actually, you know, I'm a lesbian. To some people, I think it's really important that they identify that, their sexuality. When I first came out, I found the whole label thing really hard to deal with. I found it really hard to deal with because I didn't want to stick a label on myself and say that's...
Do you really find that people today come up and say to you, you must have a husband?
They do.
I find that really amazing that you would say that goes on in this day and age.
Oh, you know, when you're sitting in a taxi, you know, and the taxi driver will say to you or something, or your husband, or, you know, whatever, and you just go... Well,
so you say, I don't have one?
I do.
Big deal.
No, but, you know, that's just one conversation. And I just think that the whole label thing is ridiculous. I didn't really feel very comfortable with it. And... That's just my experience, and I know that a lot of people do feel comfortable in making sure that people know exactly who they are and exactly what they do.
You don't agree? Why don't you agree?
I've never agreed with labels. I mean, I've always thought labels are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, in the 70s, you know, you had to be a feminist or you weren't a feminist.
Yeah.
You had to be an iron butterfly or you weren't an iron butterfly. I've always said, I'm a woman. That's it. Yeah. Plain, simple. I don't want a label, thank you.
Except Mrs. or Ms. or Miss.
No, I don't give a hoot. It makes no difference whether I'm Mrs. I am still a woman. I am as you see me. Nothing else matters.
And you don't talk openly about your extraordinary affairs, do you?
I never talk about my affairs, and I'm very interested in men, actually.
Carlotta.
Well, I mean, I totally agree with Ita. I mean, I grew up saying, are you a guy or a girl? Are you a guy or a girl? Or, you know, I just say I'm Carlotta. But I'm in that position, unfortunately, that I'm known like a postage stamp.
Well, you're a walking
so everyone knows who I am. But, you know, I don't like labels either. But a lot of people do like them. I've seen a lot of people in show business who are, you know, a bit very conceited and they love that label, you know, I'm a star, or I've seen that happen lots of times in show business. But I think that... and about sex, well, I just let everyone know who I sleep with, and they've got no problems.
In fact, you might be interested in buying a copy of the book, which I believe has been re-released quite recently. Rebecca?
Look, I agree with Ita. I think we actually label less and less than we ever used to. I mean, certainly in the 70s you were left-wing or you were right-wing. You know, you were never anything, you could never be anything that was in between. And I mean, the bottom line is that we are just women, and or we're men. And I think that I don't hear a lot of that stuff where people say, I am gay or I'm heterosexual, and certainly I don't hear a lot of people asking that. And I think that I think we've become quite label-free, and I don't hear a lot of it happening.
I think we've always put people in boxes, and I don't think it's diminished at all, and I think probably we do it more often than we ever did, and I think old but not out at 84 years of age might be more perceptive than you are, in spite of the fact that you're the mother of my love child.
Stop it!
Sue.
Oh, God.
Well, on this issue, I really feel that a person's sexuality is a personal and very private thing, obviously, and sometimes there's so much talk about sexuality that everybody seems to think that they've got a right to know what you are or what you do, and I think it's outrageous. I really do, and I don't think it's anybody's business whether you're gay, straight, sideways or whatever. It's
well,
really...
what are you doing here then? Because that's all we ever talk about.
No, but I mean, you know, I think the reason that there is a lot of labelling and people are coming out and talking about, you know, being gay or whatever is because there's been a lot of prejudice, a lot of hate, and there are a minority of homosexuals. They're always going to be a minority, and some of them feel they have to be open about it to affect change. And that's true, that's good. However, if you are gay, I don't think, like, there's a lot of people who say, and Madonna was talking about this, it's like, that person's gay, they should come out. It's really none of their business whether they want to come out or stay in or go away, you know.
But you know, people have always talked about sex, and people, I mean, men, you know, what's that thing about, you know...
Sex in the City. Down
the pub, can't wait to get down the pub. Why are Australian men such terrible lovers? Because they can't wait to get down the pub and tell their mates about it.
It's fine. Like... I mean, if you want to talk about your sexuality and you're comfortable with that, great. But nobody should have to talk about it. A lot of people are absolutely not comfortable talking about sex whatsoever, and that's their right.
I think they always talked about it, but probably behind closed doors, and now it's magazines, television, radio. How's your father? Final word, Lisa.
I wanted to get away from the sport label forever. That's why I don't talk about swimming or whatever it is, but it's not illegal to be a swimmer. And it has been illegal to be gay. And so I think that in the end, that's why you have to talk about it until the laws are in place where it is not illegal to be gay or to whatever that happens, all those sorts of things. That's when we can stop talking about labels.
Labels belong on jars, not people. Is that
so
it?
True.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. We'll do some more of that. Don't go away. After the break, romance in the workplace on Beauty and the Beast.
Harrison Ford, Kristen Scott Thomas. Two people with nothing in common except one mystery.
They were sitting together. Your husband, my wife.
Tense network premiere. Random Hearts, Sunday.
I'm Lauren Burns, and I'm in Cambodia with my dad to visit Ravuth, who I sponsored last year. Like these children, he'd never been to school and had little chance of a better future. When I look back on my childhood, I remember how happy, healthy and free it was. Here, the drinking water is filthy, the kids are malnourished, and many won't live to see their 5th birthday. Ravuth's life was like this before he was sponsored, but now he goes to school and fresh, clean drinking water is available for his whole community. It's great to see that my sponsorship is making such a big difference here. I started out sponsoring Ravuth and ended up benefiting the whole village. It's the best thing I've ever done. And I'm sure you'll find that choosing to change the life of a child living in desperate poverty will be the best thing you ever do. So please, visit the World Vision website or call 13 32 40 and sponsor a child today.
Johnson's pH 5.5 Instant Foaming Facial Wash with AHAs smooths away dull skin, then gently cleanses to revive skin radiance. Johnson's pH 5.5. Great skin, no matter what.
The Good Food Show.
Good food and more.
The Good Food Show.
See chefs galore.
Good Food Show.
What food's about.
The Good Food Show.
A delicious day out. Melbourne Exhibition Centre, June 8 to 10, 3 days only. Don't miss it.
I reckon the humble spud is the most versatile of vegetables. Mash it, boil it, fry it, always delicious. And the thing I really like about Bilo potatoes, they're always in season.
Bilo, extra value for you. And me.
For this Thursday and Friday at Kmart, you can get 15% off store-wide. Excludes computer game consoles, cigarettes, gift vouchers and Kmart Tyre and Auto Service. With 15% off store-wide, Kmart is the home of low prices.
Own the #1 family movie of all time on DVD and video.
You're a wizard, Harry.
The movie that's been called The Wizard of Oz of our time, with amazing scenes never shown in theatres. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, only on DVD and video May 28th.
Fire, fire! Buy a wood heater now direct from the factory at the Ultimate Fire Sale. We're on fire! Save up to $500, plus no deposit, pay nothing for 12 months. The Ultimate Fire Sale, on now at Dandenong, Epping, Melbourne Showgrounds, Hoppers Crossing, Lilydale or Moorabbin.
This is Beauty and the Beast, and Sue wants our advice on dobbing. Dear Doug and Beauties, I recently discovered that a woman I work with is having an affair with one of the top brass in our company. She's always been a go-getter, and I assume that it's just another ploy to get ahead. She's married with 2 young daughters, but unbeknownst to her, I actually know her husband. He's a client of my husband's and a really lovely, hard-working man. I can't stand the thought of this man being duped by this vixen. Oh, the V word. I feel that I should somehow let him know what's going on. What do you all think, and how would I go about telling him? Okay, Sue from Adelaide. Here's what you do. You invite him out for a quiet dinner, some romantic music, couple of Pinot Gris. Who knows, one thing leads to another, you get a room, and then in a quiet post-coital moment, you tell him about his wife's goings-on. He'll be so grateful, he might even give you a job. We've got to stop these vixens, haven't we? It's our responsibility. Carlotta?
Sue, mind your own business because it'll backfire on you. She'll bring herself undone. She will.
That's concise.
That's all I've got to say. Well, mind your own business because I've seen people interfere with these sort of things before and it's backfired.
Absolutely. I think you're probably right. Sue?
Well, mind your own business. I just can't stand people who take themselves on as judge, jury and the police of other people's lives that they don't even know, they know nothing about. Wow, you know, it's just incredible. This is my pet peeve, my pet hate, people like you and other people out there who are like you. I mean, you don't even know anything about this woman. You don't know if she's been in a dreadful marriage. You don't know. Maybe he's having 10 affairs. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's not even having an affair with this guy. Maybe you're jealous. Anyway, whatever, you best get on with your own life and mind your own business because really, you know, it's none of your business.
What's the biblical thing? Take the twig out of your own eye before you start looking for the log in somebody else's.
What is it? Don't throw
log out of your own
stones at glass houses.
Yeah.
People who live in glass houses should pull down the blinds. That's what I say. Lisa?
Look, the same sort of thing. I mean, get a life in the end. I mean, you don't know anything about this woman. You don't even know that she's having an affair. Who's told you that? What crap? I mean, you know, you don't know anything. You don't even know if the husband's a lovely bloke. Just get on with your own life and stop worrying about other people's.
Well, she does know. She says, I recently discovered that a woman I work with is having an affair with one of the top brass.
Discovered? What does discovered mean?
What a friend told me who overheard somebody say, okay.
You usually find busybodies like that are jealous anyway. They're not in the same position.
They're not getting laid.
Well, also that assumption that, you know, this person has to be having an affair to get to the top, as opposed to the fact that maybe she's doing a good job.
Rebecca?
Oh, look, you know, ditto, ditto, ditto. I think that, you know, there's so many complexities in relationships. There's absolutely no way that you can stand as judge and jury on this woman, Sue. And you can't you have no idea what's happening in their marriage. You have absolutely no idea what's happening with this woman in the workplace. And I think that, you know, what will end up happening is they'll shoot the messenger. And you probably deserve it if you go ahead and tell anyone about it.
I can't stand the thought of this man being duped by this vixen. Smacks of jealousy to me.
Yeah, exactly.
She can't stand this woman, Sue. That's right. She's always been a go-getter. You give yourself away there straight away. Yeah. You don't like this woman. So you're trying to do anything you can to be unkind to her. It is, as you've already been told so succinctly, none of your business. And you just butt out. Just butt out and go away.
Is there a different take on this? The program's going to get tedious if we all agree.
We're all having a feeling married men.
I'm sorry.
Come on. Tell Sue she's right, that the woman's a slut and she should be put to death.
That's right, you're a slut, you should be put to death. And that's a label. Look, I remember once, many years ago, a really good friend of mine in a situation I was working in, and somebody in that group was having an affair with somebody else in that group's wife, and I was so upset about it, and I really thought that it was my business to tell my friend. And
backfired?
Big mistake, backfired, lost the friend. It was really bad. And I agree with all the other beauties here, Sue. I think that you are so jealous of this woman, and you have no idea what this woman's relationship is with her husband. They could have an open relationship for all you know. So mind your own business and, you know, look to your own backyard before you start looking in other people's backyard. That's what I say.
Sounds like she needs a good Ronnie.
What was that, Rogering?
Ronnie.
A good Ronnie. Ronnie Coot.
You see, she works in the football world, and sometimes her rhyming slang doesn't resonate for people, say, in the lesbian music world.
Lesbian music world.
No, I'm trying to come up with as many labels as I possibly can.
Okay, good, yes.
The long, auburn-haired lesbian music world.
This is a lesbian music sparkly. That's scary.
Does anybody, before we depart the subject, does anybody know anybody who's been in this situation?
Yes, we all know.
Yes, we don't talk out of school.
Absolutely.
People who are having an affair with the top brass?
In a past passes. Usually an affair passes. I mean, she could just destroy everybody's life.
You often hear about lots of rumours, but I mean, short of actually catching, my idea on this is short of actually catching anyone in the act, it's always a rumour. I mean, how can anyone say it's fact?
And successful women are often accused of sleeping their way to the top. It's the most boring bloody thing that's ever said about
what they're not actually
it's such a
saying,
fad
Sue from Adelaide, is hire a detective. Get one of those cameras that you can fit on your shoe and photograph people while they're not expecting to be photographed. You're going to have to get some hard evidence before you're going to get it on with this woman's husband. That's a fact.
About.
Yeah. Beautifully handled.
Well, have some sex with your own husband.
Beautifully handled. You're watching Beauty and the Beast, and we'll be back with more right after this.
This 10 News Update, proudly brought to you by the new Hyundai Sonata.
Hello, Jennifer Hansen. A court victory for a senior magistrate today awarded nearly $250,000 damages in a defamation case. A court ruled that Deputy Chief Magistrate Jelena Popovic was libelled by Andrew Bolt in a Herald Sun opinion piece. Police are investigating a series of fires which gutted 2 vacant houses and a church in the Western Victorian town of Marnoo overnight. Residents in the small community fear the arsonist may strike again. South Africans have paid tribute to their country's former cricket captain, Hansie Cronje, at his funeral today. The 32-year-old died in a plane crash last weekend, 2 years after being expelled from the cricket team over a match-fixing scandal. The Victorian government will go it alone in the redevelopment of the MCG. It rejected a federal government contribution, saying union restrictions would have sabotaged the project. And Melbourne's Lord Mayor John Soe has had a dig at Myer, saying the department store needs to revamp its image to keep up with the times. Some patchy rain this afternoon and 16 degrees.
New Hyundai 4-wheel drive Terracan, the tough 7-seater, with a powerful 3.5-litre V6. Overprotective safety, including dual airbags, and overwhelming features with air, alloys, CD and power everything as standard, all for under $38,000. New Hyundai 4-wheel drive Terracan. It's tough to beat.
Chicken teriyaki.
Hi, Dad.
All right, darling.
Where's mine?
You can get your own.
Looking after yourself has never been easier with new McCain Healthy Choice meals in bowls.
I'll do the washing up.
Healthy Choice is looking after yourself.
Save this week with Safeway special buys. 6-pack of sorbent toilet tissue, just $3.98, save 90 cents. Don't miss out on this special buy and many more, but only at Safeway.
Bring food to life.
Check that out, boys.
Yeah, what about that? Ah, the thinker, not the thinker.
Oh, yeah. Good. Thinker, schminker, check this out.
Freaky, man.
Yeah, wait.
Wow!
Check it out. It's a space rocket.
V, with natural guarana and B vitamins, think of it as your afternoon wake-up call.
Ah, new guy, eh?
Continental creamy risotto. A little different.
Oh, they're just gonna love you.
Another way to turn the ordinary meal into the extraordinary meal.
Psst, move over for a side dish.
There's underwear. And there's Target underwear. Target underwear doesn't ride up your, and the elastic won't stretch. Ouch! Out of shape. Target underwear will keep its shape. Wash after wash after wash. So for really comfortable underwear, look under here.
Welcome back to Beauty and the Beast, and Marie is struggling with menopause. Dear Beauty and the Beast, I'm in my 3rd year of menopause. Oh, I wonder when she gets a degree. I've suffered from... Sean is particularly unhappy about that tasteless remark. I've suffered from every negative effect associated with this terrible condition. My husband has given me no support and has actually threatened to leave me if I don't snap out of it. Oh, the Jennifer Burt advice. Snap out of it. I feel that he no longer loves me, and I'm very uncertain about our future together. I used to be a bubbly, spontaneous, hard-working person, and I miss the person I once was. I just wonder if everybody's life changes so drastically, and should I walk away from a 30-year marriage that clearly isn't working anymore? You know what, it'd be very easy to do tasteless jokes about menopause, certainly for a person as insensitive as myself. But if I did, my Lizzie would tear my arm off and beat me to death with it because, oh, gee, she's been angry lately. And the flushes. Oh, the flushes. No, this is a very serious and widely, I think, misunderstood transitional phase in a woman's life, which I'm sure Ida's got some serious comments to make on the subject. I think that, that the key to this letter is actually the line that says, where is it? I just wish I was the person I once was. I miss the person I once was, you know. I don't think it's about the husband or his insensitivity. It's about your need to rediscover that thing that you see as having gone missing. On the money?
Doug, I think Mari sounds like she's suffering in silence. I mean, you've been enduring the menopause for 3 years. What have you done about it? It doesn't sound like you've been to see your doctor. I mean, there's scores of treatments available to help you through the menopause. There's HRT, hormone replacement therapy. A lot of women don't like it. There's a lot of natural products around, which a lot of women favour. You can have a sedative, a mild sedative prescribed by your doctor if you're experiencing insomnia. You're certainly experiencing mood swings, I take it from what you're saying. But, you know, you must go and get some help. This is ridiculous. I mean, menopause is just a natural... It's a turning point in a woman's life. We all go through it. And each one of us experiences it in a different way, but there is so much help at hand, and you must go and see your GP. There are menopause foundations. I know we've got an address for you that'll probably come up on the screen eventually. There you are. The National Menopause Foundation. It's called the Amaranth National Menopause Foundation. I used to be the patron. There's some fantastic women there that give you lots of advice about the menopause. Go and seek help, and then explain to your husband what you're going through, and you can get through this. This is ridiculous. Don't walk away from your marriage. It's just menopause. It's nothing to worry about. You can handle it.
I miss the person I once was. Is it possible for her to become the person she once was?
Well, the mood swings can be very severe. You know, I remember that I had terrible mood swings. I had so much rage. I could have easily... I really was not myself. I just raged. And when I trotted off to my gynaecologist, and I said to him I was having these awful feelings of rage, he wanted to give me some rotten... well, he wanted to give me a rotten product that I won't mention on this program, and I refused to take it. It was some sort of sedative tranquilizer, and I just said, no, I don't want to take that. You know, I want to come to grips with why I'm feeling like this.
It wasn't... she's scary. It wasn't horny goat weed, was it?
And you know, the thing is, she's suffering in silence. There are still women who think they must suffer the menopause in silence. You don't have to. Go and get help. Talk to other women that are going through menopause or have been through menopause.
Rebecca.
Yeah, I think my mother and her 3 sisters have all gone through menopause, but they've gone through it in silence. And there is a real thing now where there's a view, there certainly was a view of that generation where you did have to be really stoic. Well, you don't have to be stoic. And the other thing is that you do come out the other end as the person you were, and probably as a stronger person as a result. You know,
you come out better.
That's right.
No monthly periods, no PMT. I mean, that's terrific.
No exactly. She's fantastic.
And no risk of pregnancy. I think that should be taken into account.
No contraception, all of those great things, and the freedom that comes out of it. And this is what, you know, they've all said, all of these women of this generation have said, it is the most fantastic feeling of freedom when you do finally get through it. But there are things, as I've said, that you can do, and if you don't want to go into the HRT and medication, you can go into any natural therapy store, and you can get any number of treatments for menopause, all of which are really effective and work for women.
And of course, joining a netball team is always an option.
And go and join a netball team.
Isn't there a sort of body of feminists, though, suggesting at the moment that women should suffer menopause, that it's a part of the journey, and that hormone replacement therapy...
I haven't heard of anybody of feminists, and if they are, they're barking up the wrong tree. Ignore them.
I promise you it's extant. I've seen writings to this effect.
Well, it's rubbish.
Good, fine, thank you, Ida. We've had the decision there. Shauna.
Well, I haven't I've actually started to have the perimenopause, the premenopausal symptoms, and I did a lot of reading about menopause, and as Ida said, it sounds like you really haven't done anything to help yourself here. And there are so many great things that you can do. You could, you know, you need to speak to your husband. You say your husband has given you no support. Maybe your marriage is over. You know, maybe that when menopause occurs, usually, I did some research on this for myself, and one of the things that I noted was that when menopause is happening, there are usually a lot of other things that are happening in your life, such as your children leaving home, your grandchildren.
I agree. You've got the whole house to yourself.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know why you're stirring me today,
You can't
Ita.
say this to women out there. You know, it's a normal, it's terrific.
I'm not saying it's not terrific.
Jeez, it sounds so good. I wish I could have it.
We can't.
Me too.
Okay, throw to someone else.
Lord Carol. Sue.
That's a whole different issue, though. A lot of people do go through that empty nest syndrome and really suffer, especially women have invested everything in their children and then they have to recreate themselves, but that's part of it.
There aren't many women like that left anymore.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
all working.
Right. I don't know. Anyway, there's a fabulous book that not Ida, but Ida Buttress was raving about. No, actually, it was Oprah Winfrey, but, you know, not much difference. Except the colour and the nationality. No, that's a compliment.
Yeah,
It's fabulous.
Just get on with it.
Sorry,
Stop squirming.
Yes, that's right. The Wisdom of Menopause by Christine
she's
Northbrook.
fantastic.
And Chinese herbs, acupuncture, they can really help. But also maybe your hormonal levels are so down, maybe you don't have any sex drive and that's a problem in your marriage, but you can get those hormonal levels back to normal and then maybe that'll help a lot.
Yeah, tequila. Have you thought of tequila? That might help. Tequila, just a bottle of tequila and some lubricant.
You're going to get your arms ripped out when you get home.
I'll get
so in trouble.
I'll get both arms ripped out. You know my wife. She's a straight razor-toting woman.
Woo,
I don't know how she puts
you're
up with this. Lisa, do you have any comments?
Well, I can't add any advice, of course, because you're getting the best advice. But I do remember talking about the generation gap when we were teenagers. My sister and I, Mum had gone off. She had had a bad day, and we'd heard that menopause took 10 years. And I remember looking at Jane, going, "What do you reckon? Is it 3 years yet?" Talk to someone, because if we were told that was going on, then of course you would have understood.
None of you guys have hammered the husband for his lack of consideration. I'm surprised. I thought that's where you'd start.
I think a lot of it's in her head, because I do think the husband's probably exactly the same person she's lived with for 29 years or 27 years, and she's basically got so many issues that she's dealing with herself that I don't really think he is the problem. And I think, she's willing to stick at it.
Basic here. She mightn't be feeling like sex. You know, you might have some estrogen problems. You need to go because you might need to take estrogen in a number of ways. And if your sex life isn't any good and your mood swings are really awful, perhaps your husband's just a bit fed up. I mean, you're playing the martyr role. As I said to a friend of mine, there's no place for menopausal martyrs in the 21st century.
Okay. So, Carlotta, do I ask you about menopause?
I mean, I'm very happy. You know, I'm happy I don't have these problems. But I did have one problem last year where I went through hot flushes. And I was talking to Rebecca and Ida up in the green room, and I said, this menopause letter, how can I go there? But in a way, I got these hot flushes and I went to the doctor, and I've been on hormone replacement for 2 years now, nearly 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, and because I got the hot flushes, I was down, I was lethargic, I didn't know what was happening to me.
It was German measles,
since I've been on this hormone replacement, I'm jolly.
You've just been delightful
I'm
to be
very
with,
happy, so if that's my sort of menopause, I'm happy.
Okay. And for mine, even though it's not my special subject for 15, I went through the change this morning and was still 20 cents short of the cigarette machine. You're watching Beauty and the Beast, and after the break... Sorry. We tackle halitosis. Head on.
Brilliant.
They're old enough to know better.
Did they rape her?
And too young to care.
You know how freaky girls get sometimes.
But who would kill to be popular?
Are you calling our daughter a pervert?
All new Law and Order.
Why are you doing this to me?
8:30 tonight on 10.
Are you paying more than $10 a month for your internet? Justinternet.com.au. Now giving Aussies internet for under $10 a month. Surf all you want with unlimited internet time. 3 email accounts for all the family and a massive 500 meg of downloads. Join online now. Justinternet.com.au or call 1300 88 99 10. That's 1300 88 99 10. Just Internet. Get it on.
Canton rice and noodle bowls. Delicious Asian meals, low in fat and ready in an instant. And now with a huge variety to choose from. You can't go wrong with Canton.
Get ready for the vitamin C taste.
It's the juicy black currants with 4 times the vitamin C of oranges that make Ribena so delicious. Dive into the amazing taste of Ribena's vitamin C.
If you're racing around for home improvements, jump into Bunnings Warehouse. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
10 to 50% off all frames at Budget Eyewear for a limited time only. Budget Eyewear. See what you're missing.
For returns worth getting excited about, lock in an excellent 6.25% per annum for 12 months and up to an amazing 7.75% per annum for 5 years, with no fees or charges and interest paid quarterly. Call Australian Capital Reserve now on 1800 002 009 for more information, so you can relax and watch your money grow.
Bring your existing account across to Just Internet and pay less. Don't pay more than $10 a month for your internet. Join online now. www.justinternet.com.au. Just Internet. Get it on.
Sweet, sweet baby, life is crazy, but there's one thing I am sure of, that I'm your lady, always, baby, and I love you now and ever. Sweet, sweet baby, life is crazy, but there's one thing I am sure of, that I'm your lady, always, baby, and
Good to see you still with us. Let's get straight into our next letter. Dear Beauty and the Beast, I'm a 25-year-old woman, and ever since I can remember, I've had terrible smelling breath. I've seen several doctors about this, and they all say that nothing's wrong. I have perfect teeth, and I've never seen a dentist in my life. I brush, I gargle, and I wash my tongue, but all to no avail. I'm so desperate that I'll do anything you suggest. Lonely. Rebecca, you suffer from terrible bad breath. What advice?
Did I know that would be the opening line?
What advice do you give to lonely?
I so don't,
No,
but
I
anyway.
know, I'm sorry.
No, but it's all right. I knew that would be there.
I'll
So
cop
it's
it in the neck later, I'm sure.
Yeah, good. Look, bad breath can be about everything except what's happening in your mouth. It can be about digestion, bad digestion, and it can be about stress. So my advice to you would be to go along to a natural therapy store, as we referred to before. There are some great things like psyllium husk, juniper, celery that you can use to settle your digestive system down and to stop it playing up and sort of giving you that reflux that's obviously causing you bad breath, or just get any vitamin B derivative, which is actually very helpful in fighting stress.
How do you fight bad breath, Carlotta?
Well, I'm a smoker, but I chew gum all the time.
Do you?
But I go to the dentist. I mean, I got very nice teeth, thank you. Cost me a fortune.
They're fabulous.
But what I'm saying is it can be a stomach problem, because I had a friend that had the same thing. And you know it's very good? Yakult. For your stomach acids. You have Yakult every morning.
I thought you were talking about strange druid practices there. So there you go. There you go, lonely. If you're suffering bad breath.
It's that milky yogurt thing. Yeah. But it's very, I have it every morning because it's very good for your acids in your stomach. Like where you don't hear rumbles.
Rumbles. I clean my teeth endlessly, so that's what I do.
That would take
that's
some
what
time,
you want to know.
wouldn't it?
She's got great teeth.
Am I reading this correctly that you've been to the doctor but never to a dentist? Ever? Ever?
That's what it says.
25 years. I can't imagine why you wouldn't go to a dentist, and I'd check that out first. But I agree with what everyone else is saying. It's probably not in your mouth. But I would still go to a dentist and check that out. And then I would just keep going back to doctors. I mean, there've just been too many, and this is not to bag doctors, but I have a couple of very dear friends who went to doctors and complained about things that were not sorted out, and they had really serious things. So you've got to keep going to a doctor who is going to do the tests that you need to do. That's my advice.
Because it's the whole system. I mean, you know, you don't see a complaint in isolation. You've got to see, and I think Rebecca said it, it probably stems from some other digestive problem. But dentists these days, it's not a bad start. If you've never been to one, I'd definitely go. Because most of the big dentists these days in the major cities also have someone they refer to as the oral hygienist. Now, I know it sounds like a dreadfully American concept, but, I mean, it's beyond the drilling and the filling. It's about somebody who actually will give you some education as to how to keep the plaque in your out of your mouth.
Floss and all that.
Yeah, the things that can generate bad breath. It might just be as simple as that. Sue?
Yes, well, it is really obvious if you've never been to a dentist, you should go there. I mean, sometimes food gets caught in your teeth and flossing could help, but sometimes food gets caught in your teeth. I just can't believe you've never been to the dentist. And I really think that that is just so obvious a solution. And the other thing is maybe a dietitian as well, because it really does depend what you're eating and drinking lots of water. But the dentist, so obvious.
I remember Mick Jagger had an emerald set in his tooth. It was trendy to put, you know, diamonds or whatever, and he had an emerald put in, and people kept saying, "Oh, Mick, so he had this thing put in at great personal cost, and then had to have it removed."
Because diamonds photograph as black.
Do they?
In black and white photos.
really?
So if you're, you know, thinking you're fabulous with a diamond and you smile, it looks like you've got a big black hole in your tooth. So we got it out, yeah.
Shauna, you're working with people as a singer all the time, singing loud, pumping breath into the room. You'd have to be careful about oral hygiene.
I have, you know, I'm mental about it, and I have worked with some people who have the worst halitosis. Like one particular guy that I've worked with, I would make excuses to stand as far away from him as I possibly could because his breath was so bad. And somebody that I knew worked with him and suggested to him that perhaps he should go and see a dental hygienist, and he said, "I go to the dentist all the time." And he went to see this dental hygienist, and it was a gum disease that caused it. And so
gingivitis.
it was something, I think it was something even a little bit more severe than gingivitis. And anyway, he treated it and it was fine and it went away. But I think that it can also be symptomatic, as the other ladies have said, of other things in your gut. And apparently another suggestion is that you can have grated apple before you go to bed. That's supposed to be very good for you. But I think you have to go to a dentist and start with some oral hygiene first, and like Lisa said, go to a doctor until you get satisfaction that you want.
Or wear a surgical mask, perhaps.
No, I think it's a dentist. I mean, it's in your mouth. You must go to the dentist. I go to the dentist every 6 months. And it probably is something to do with your gums, and you should be flossing. And this is my dentist is always talking about flossing. But I read in the papers, and I was talking with him last week when I was there, people who floss live 10 years longer than people who don't.
Right. Really?
And it was just announced the other day that there's going to be some sort of medical survey into the effect that gum disease has on other illnesses. You know, there is a link.
It's the heart.
A link between the gum disease and the heart. So definitely something in your mouth can cause great havoc. So I can't believe that your doctor hasn't said to go to the dentist, and I reckon if you go to the dentist, you'll find out what the problem is.
It's the plaque. It's the plaque. The plaque.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the risk of sort of doing a Cindy Pan or a Dr. Penny, what I read was, and I'm no medical expert, what I read was, and I remember this, that the bacteria that cause plaque to form in the teeth cause a hardening of the arteries in the heart. They cause the same calcification in the arteries, and they're now discovering there is a direct link between oral hygiene and heart disease.
Before we start the show, Doug, we should floss.
We'll all floss. Instead, what do? We eat sugary lollies. Do we not? Thank you, Jamie. You're a dangerous man. I think that covers it. I mean, certainly you've had a wide range of advice there. Lonely, you don't need to be lonely anymore. It starts at the dentist. I think a trip to the dentist and a little bit of flossing, which is what the oral hygienist will recommend. Don't go away, because after the break, I have a saucy little missive for Ita.
There's a kind of mildly ironic link between Evan and myself.
An exclusive behind-the-scenes look at TV's coolest drama.
Thankfully, I didn't have to audition.
A very special insight. The Secret Life of The Secret Life of Us, 8:30 Monday.
Get behind the basketball court. Basketball is life. You're out and about the community. You're just not looked at as a player. A look at one of the biggest sports in Australia.
In a team game, you have to know that you got another teammate there ready to have your back.
Fast Break, today at 11:30.
Hi, I'm Paul Birchall from Electrodry. Your carpet should be professionally cleaned at least twice a year to remove bacteria, pollutants, and to keep it looking great. Electrodry is one of the few companies that vacuum before they clean and neutralise your carpets as part of the service. Once your carpets have been dry cleaned by Electrodry, they are soft, dry, ready to use. I believe Electrodry provide the best value service available. So call us now on 132713.
Delphin Living Options is all about making home buying easy by taking you on the most spectacular display home tour ever seen in Melbourne. Over 100 brand new homes on display. At Lakeside at Pakenham, there'll be 41 homes designed and built by Melbourne's leading builders, making it the largest display village in the southeast. So many ideas, so many living options. Take the Delphin Living Options tour at Lakeside at Pakenham.
Delphin Living Options makes home buying easy.
Delphin.
Think Furniture's Overstock sale is on now. Save up to 40% on factory direct leather. Buy this 3-seater for only $1,790 and get a 2-seater free. Superb Oxford 3-seater and 2 recliners, now only $2,995. Think Corner Suite in Super Suede, priced out at $2,500 with bonus free stool. Australian-made full leather Chesterfield 3-seater wing chair and tub chair, only $7.99 per piece. For luxury leather designs up to 40% off, Think Furniture, Clayton, Bandura, Dandenong and Rosebud.
The Doorbuster Door Sale is on this weekend at Doors Plus for 4 days only. Save up to 50% this weekend only at the Doors Plus 4-day Doorbuster Sale. Ends Monday. Visit a Doors Plus showroom today. Doors Plus, no fuss.
For this Thursday and Friday at Kmart, you can get 15% off store-wide. Excludes computer game consoles, cigarettes, gift vouchers and Kmart Tyre and Auto Service. With 15% off store-wide, Kmart is the home of low prices.
Get a kick out of life and score $10,000 worth of Simpson appliances by entering the Simpson Ausgift Play of the Month competition. You could also win a team outfit signed by your favourite AFL player simply by showing us what a great player you are. Just send us a video of you in action on the field to win these great prizes and more. Check out afl.com.au for entry details. Thanks to Simpson, proud sponsor of the AFL Auskick Junior Development Program.
For the first time, Star Trek The Next Generation is now on DVD.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Enterprise.
A stunning 7-disc box set with over an hour of extras. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1.
If you want to ride to Beauty and the Beast, our address is GPO Box 99, Sydney 2001. Or email us, thebeast@foxtel.com.au.
We love getting your mail here on Beauty and the Beast, and this one is for you, Ita Sweetie.
Thank you, Dougie.
Dear Doug, one of my favourite songs in the world is that wonderful ballad by Cole Chisel called Ita. I've always adored this sexy, intelligent woman and need you to answer me one question. Exactly what does that desktop hide? A tail, actually. She's a mermaid. Ida is a mermaid, and her vital statistics are 36, 24 and $50 a kilo.
It hides my hips. The desktop hides my hips.
That was the lyric in the song, wasn't it? And it was Don that wrote it.
It was Don Walker who wrote it, that's right. Cole Chisel sang it. It was on the East album. It was released around about 74, 75.
Love that song.
I didn't know about it. It's the 10th. I rang Don the other day because the words are in my paperback autobiography, as it turns out.
There you go.
Had a shot of it there.
No, I rang Don, and he told me that Ida is still, of all the cultures of songs, the 10th most played song nationally, even today.
Wow.
It's really stood the test of time. It's a great song.
And while that makes you feel good about yourself, you're almost certain that every disc jockey that comes off the back of it is going to do some joke about you. I know I was that man. Thank you, Ida. Love your life, love the way it's heading. It's that time again. We really must knock that naughty clock. Thank you to my lovely beauties, Ida, to Rebecca, to Lisa, to Carlotta, to Sue and to Shauna. Farewell until next time.
With only 6 people left in the Big Brother house, things are only getting more intimate. Tune in tonight as the G-rated rapping comes off the nation's most watched household in Big Brother Uncut, 9:30 tonight. Next, Oprah.